So I guess where do you want to start? Like because we'll walk over here into the GI Joe room. I'm gonna just kind of give everyone an idea of what I have to work with here, and we can always cut it too.
Okay, you have a video of that.
Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence. Today I'm going to show you guys off my basement that I often talk about, and I talk about this brick bar over here and the obstacles that I deal with. But this is basically going to show you what I'm doing because I'm going to put some shelves over here on this wall right here. You want to show that off, Olivia? Olivia is behind the camera. So I'm going to kind of explain everything to you. So where she's standing, if you want to just turn, this is the laundry room. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing anything there. But if you look this way, I'm going to have like a home gym. It's not used as much as I would like to. Right now, I kind of have some stuff on it, but you can just kind of see I have toys and stuff. And over here, I just got this, skateboards on the wall, and then this drop down ceiling. Now, I can't even express to you the person that put this in, how much time and effort they put into it, because to pull all this stuff down would be a complete nightmare. But this is the brick bar that I constantly talk to you guys about, that I just say is in the worst spot ever. If you look, you can see this is all actual brick. It's not paneling over it, it's actual brick. So when you look at this brick bar, it is over half the length of this section of the basement. And you can't do anything with it because all of this is brick and behind here is glass block. So as you can see, I put a lot of the O-ring, the 4-inch stuff on here, 1/18 scale stuff. I got my, the ultimate guide to G.I. Joe. I don't know what I dropped, but it has like a wine rack in it. What? I dropped Mickey Mouse. Oh, we dropped Star Wars Mickey Mouse that we actually got from Disney World. And Roman's here. He's just kind of enjoying. There's a 3D printer that sometimes I use. I create walls. Nothing too much. But again, there's only so much you can do. So this thing here just really causes a problem. And this is all the classified boxes. And unfortunately, well, we have too many. So I'm going to be creating some shelving right over here. Try not to step on Roman. So I'm going to be putting shelving right across here. 4 rows of shelving, uh, 8 feet by 12 inches long. So I can hopefully get all the boxes. I know I can get all the boxes as of now. I think we can probably get about 200, up to number 200 on there, just to try and create more space. Then I can kind of rearrange this. This is going to go upstairs. I'm going to take the one upstairs that I use for my gargoyles, move it to the G.I. Joe section because unfortunately, there's just too much stuff. And the Dragonfly is coming, and we know that's going to add into everything. So what you see here is half my basement. I keep telling you, my steps are right down the middle. So on the other side, many of you probably said, we've seen the G.I. Joe room. We're going to quickly show you the G.I. Joe room and where the flag is. It is a complete disaster, which it has been a disaster for quite some time. If I wouldn't step down, I'd stay up there because it needs to be clean. So this is the G.I. Joe room. And again, on the other side of this, I have the laundry room. And, this closet was here. Okay. I wish I could pull this out and eventually maybe I will. But the problem when the place is so small, you have to find somewhere to move stuff. But as we know, this thing here is the biggest obstacle because I can't just move it out without it collecting more dust. I got to get some ceiling tiles for up there. That's, I think, where a lot of my dust and, let's say, the spiders come in. You guys have seen this. You can go watch the videos on it. But you guys also ask about that one specific room. Well, this is it. I've told you before, this we believe was a room where they did different types of acts. And on the other side of this, there's a lock on the outside, and you can put storage here. The swing was found that hung down over here a long time ago. This thing had glass block, but it had electricity or has power in there. I don't know, but that was something that my father-in-law found when he was doing some work. So it's hard to say exactly what it was, but when you see the brick bar, you kind of get the idea that they used to hold. I don't know what you would say. They'd have their liquor and everything there, and Olivia has the most horrified look on her face right now.
I was just gonna say that's where Dobby lives. No, that's where Harry Potter lives.
That's what we thought too. Again, we can't confirm that, but you guys have.
Let Emily live in here?
We didn't know about it.
Till Emily lived in here?
Papa found out about it. Well, Papa found it, and then your mother let me know. I didn't realize you didn't know, and you're too young to know that type of stuff. But anyway, I don't know. But this is what I'm dealing with. But what I'm going to start doing, I don't know if she's even looking.
No.
Watch where you're going, so I don't need you to fall. If you could step back for a second. So this right here is what I'm going to be working on this weekend, where I'm going to be putting the shelving in here, lining up. I want all my numbers to be in order. And I know a lot of people hate that the boxes are different. I actually like it because if you go to a bookstore, you go to a library, the books aren't all the same. And it gives it character in my personal opinion. So we're going to see about that. I just kind of want to show you this, and I'm going to show you the progress of what we did here. Go from there. All right. All right, so again, this is the wall we're going to use. We're going to be taking stuff off here. Again, all I bought was from Home Depot. It was a 4x8 pressed particle board. It was under $24 per sheet. Then I had to cut into 4 sections like this. All right, so 12 inches. It's going to create enough room on here that most of the classified boxes are going to fit. I'm going to create them 1 foot below each other. That way, the big boxes, if I have them sticking straight out, they'll hit the top if they lean forward just a bit. Brackets I'm going to use, these little brackets. These are like $2.50 each. Got enough for 2 holes right there. I use these for all the other brackets. You probably see them in my videos, on my live streams. I have them holding stuff up. So you don't need you don't need something super strong because you're not going to be putting something too heavy on there. To anchor into the wall, drywall anchors. If you never use these drywall anchors, these things are amazing. Plastic piece just drills right in once you line it up. And then you drill the screw into it and it expands it. These things will hold. These ones are actually meant to hold 50 pounds. So more than a few of these are going to be perfectly fine. Other than that, there's not too much. We'll be taking some of this stuff off, obviously. Here, I don't ever talk about this. You know, I was a kid at one time, way different lifestyle, we could say. When you do karate as a kid, it's not about power. It's really about forms and how good you can be. So right there, anyone ever asks, tongue sudo, you know what stripes mean. So believe it or not, at one time as a youngster, I was a 2nd degree black belt in karate. I don't talk about it very often because to say it was a long time ago and after my mom passed away, all I cared about was G.I. Joe. We got our Army of Darkness that we're going to have to remove. And then this poster, which I've talked about these things before, this is this Canon paper called Peel and Stick. And I'll be able to peel this and move it somewhere else. We're just going to get it out of the way here. Throw it over here for right now. And we'll move it somewhere. Probably hide some of these holes. all this other stuff. It was just, I don't know, putting stuff up for the kids or whatever. Times change and G.I. Joe has grown. So that's what we're going to be doing to begin with. And then I kind of show the progression as we go along. All right, so now we got to decide. I want it to be 1 foot for each shelf. Now, the biggest thing about that is people might just measure out 1 foot and then put the, and then mark the brackets. Where's my brackets at? Then you mark your brackets. What they don't take into account for is the piece of wood on top of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we got to decide if we're going to start from the top and go down or start from the bottom and figure it out. Because if you measure from here and this isn't level, guess what? Your shelves are going to be off. And if you're anal, you'll definitely notice. But I quickly looked at this, and believe it or not, this guy actually got this level. So we're going to use this as the template, and then we're going to go down. Now, the other thing that you have to do is we're going to measure on top of this, into the hole. So once we know what that is, we add our 12 inches. God, that's what she said. Then I can just measure straight down. And then we also have to do, if you care, an even amount from one spot to the middle and then to the end. I like it to be even. So that's what you're going to want to do. Again, remember, put your piece of wood up here, measure that, then add your foot. And then every time that you measure that, that's going to be 1 foot of actual shelf space. All right, so here I'm measuring. I'm going 1 foot in, then 4 feet, then we'll go 7 for roughly, so then you can tie it up. Remember, if you have children, labor laws do not count with children, so they are a great way to...
Oh, they can see your bald head, just so you know.
It doesn't matter what they see. They know that you're here. They can't hear you either.
They can see.
So right there, we've marked it, and then we're going to go straight down, and then we'll be able to mark exactly. Now, if you have one of your T, whatever these are called, T-level tool, then we can just line it on up. And then with a light line, just mark down because you're going to want to erase it. So there you go. Remember, when you have children,
You can't see nothing, Dad.
I can see everything.
You can't see anything. You can only see that. There's nothing there.
These children today. This is why you have them, all right? So they can help you out with all of this. And she's right. The line was totally, you know, don't use...
That's mine.
Who bought it?
That's my girly one.
Push that down, please. And then we just mark the line. And then we'll do it with all of them. And then we'll just drill our holes. And it's really easy. Of course, I'm taking more time with my bald head that she keeps saying is shiny. And making a video because content is king. King. Content is king. They can't hear you because I have the microphone right here. King. Well, whatever. Go away.
Content is king.
Kids. All right, so I got all my lines marked. You probably can't see them, but they're there. And all I did was, like I said, show the line. I marked down. So this is 12 inches from the top here. This is 13.5. Down here, I got a yellow, a round dot that tells me that's 12 inches. That's where I need to remark it and go down. I went 13.5 each one because from the hole here, the top of where the wood will be, and again, before I start, I'm just going to kind of line it up and make sure that that looks about right. Now all you're going to do is take this. It's got 3 little holes. All right, line up your cross that you created. Got the 3 holes down here. I would not use a electric pencil. mark them, and then you're going to go there. Very simple, very simple. And I know what many of you are asking. Why didn't you just ask Wood Bunny to come and do this? And well, that's because she disappears on Instagram all the time, and all the times that Thanos Copter has reached out, she hasn't reached back about coming on the show. So anyway, if you know, you know. It might be an inside joke to some of you. If not, you're going to learn something, possibly, from someone who doesn't do construction. All right, so here it is. Now, I've told you already that what we're going to be using to sink these is these little pieces here. Now, again, you look at these things. All right, they drill into the drywall. They basically just have this corkscrew, and you can see there's your Phillips head. They drill right into it. We're going to use the short side here, so there's more length. That's how that's going to go on there. Now, in theory, all we have to do is stick your Phillips head on your drill, plug it in here, and drill away. But I always like to start with a pilot, and the reason for that is sometimes it will not drill exactly where it needs to go. So we're just going to do this one. I'm going to show you. The other thing is you do not want to hit a stud, because if you hit a stud, that thing's just going to kind of explode on you. All right? And it feels like there's a couple studs right there. This one there definitely wasn't. This one here I'm going to have to test and see. But now I've created these pilot holes. I know exactly where they're going to go. That little contraption will follow into it. If you hit a stud, or you know where the studs are, again, you don't need studs per se on this because you're only putting out boxes or even toys, but you do need to make sure that it's secure. If you hit a stud, even better. You just drill with the screw they gave you, and you're good. So let's get one of these up here. I'll show you how this thing works. All right. And again, I do believe that there is a stud on that side, but we're just going to take it. It just sits in just like that. Here we go. And then it just goes in just like that. All right. You can see how that is. Now again, what I think I actually have here is an actual stud. So what I'm going to do, I'm off screen here, is I'm just going to take a regular screw that is supposed to go with this. And I can feel that the stud is right there, probably because I went 12 inches over. That's what she said. So with these ones, I'm not going to have to use it. And I could feel it right there too. So at least on this one here, I'm only going to have to put the one side in here. The other ones, I'm just going to put the screws in. So when we come back, we can have everything up there. It's going to be great. All right, so there we have it. I got all of these in here. Some of them have the studs. Like I mentioned, a stud right there. No, not right here. For anyone that came here for jokes. And these things, like I said, just going to drill right into them here. No problem. But again, with the luckiness that we hit the stud right there. Again, that really does help with the pilot, especially considering these aren't wood, but they will do the job. Oops. They will do the job if need be. So, put that in there. Make sure you bring down your torque, all right? Because that's what you want to do is over torque it. But this thing here is enough pressure that you're not going to have to worry about it. And again, you don't have to put boxes. I mean, I'm putting the boxes up there. For the most part, I mean, I'll be able to put action figures if I want to change it up, put skateboards up there, whatever. Yeah. All right. I'll be back. All right, so the last piece of this puzzle is this area down here. Now, really can't create brackets. It wouldn't be that easy. But with this wood here, when you cut it 12 by 12 by 12, you end up with this little piece extra. And since I did 2 of them, because I'll be doing another thing, we're just going to set this right down here so we can make sure that our stuff is off of the ground. And again, when it comes down to this here, and kind of see how everything is. And even if you only got one piece, you could just break up that little board there. But now, anything that we put on the bottom, maybe the bigger stuff like, I don't know, a HasLab HissTank, maybe a Dragonfly or a Rattler when it comes. Who knows? God knows there's a lot of big pieces that are coming. So anyway, this is kind of how it looks. Now, all right, now I did leave the little marks, the pencil, because this is my basement. Again, I'm going to be putting boxes behind it. If I was, let's say, doing action poses and stuff like that, well, that's when I would I'd do something a little different, obviously, because you don't want to be looking at that all the time, right? That's something you want to be different. And I have the ability to print stuff that a lot of other people don't, so that's what I would do. I don't really do it upstairs, oddly enough, that I talk about it. So anyway, let's get some boxes on here. Let's see how it lines up. And I know the first question you're going to ask, do you not have 00 Snake Eyes? Well, I do. I just haven't figured out how I can put that up there because the box doesn't fit. There's no way in hell the box fits. So, all right, so there is the progress for putting this all together. Shelves are up. I moved one of the shelves back there, so I'll have adjacent classified or G.I. Joe stuff. This is all the numbered stuff here. You can see how disjointed it is, but this actually works with this being 12 inches, as I had mentioned. That's what she said. I've seen that like 3 times during this filming of this video. I have a lot of duplicates, even stuff like an extra stinger here. So we'll be able to put it behind it, push the stuff out so it sets off a little bit more. You got the, like, you know, your 3-pack, the Extensive Enterprise as well, 80 and 81 are hidden back behind 79 there. And then I have, you know, like this Incorrect Sergeant Slaughter. Thank you to Krusty O'Crow for getting this one for me. Actually, I already had it. I opened mine, so I kind of wanted it. It was I didn't even see the field variant, the running variant that Sarge wanted to change. So anyway, I'm going to get everything how I want it, and then I'll come back with the final look of how all of this looks. And then, again, you can either create your own if you're not sure how to do it. You just want to do something relatively cheap. This was all for under $100. So just think of that. Under $100. I've created space. I don't even want to talk about everything else because it's a disaster. It is start with one side and then move over and then start addressing the other issues. So let's wrap this up here. Okay, so here is the fruit of my day. Here is the shelf that was over there. I got Operation Monster Force. I got the 60th anniversary. I got 00 Snake Eyes. And a few other G.I. Joes. My Mezco's right there. And right up here, we will start with number 1. Of course, as I mentioned, I have this big brick pillar in my way. So there you go with everything. Just to clean it up a little bit more, every single classified figure so far, as you can see, even including, look at that, both Cobra Commanders there. And if you don't know, the only reason why I don't have an issue getting this variant is that number 6 is blue and the other one is white. But this is all the classified. I have them pulled back. There's figures behind it, so I can have a little bit of storage for it. Or you could leave them back, maybe put some figures in front of it. Down here, we got the gap for Storm Shadow V2. And then Nemesis Immortal, which I didn't get and is like not a big deal. It'll eventually come here. So got one HasLab here and then on the bottom until I can find a place to clean this up. But again, here is my new wall. It's created space. Now, if you ask, what about this disaster? Well, that's for another day. Okay, so there it is. As I mentioned, everything here. A lot of us still keep our boxes. Some of us are in box collectors. You know, if you're in box collectors, it might be even easier because you don't have all the figures staged elsewhere like I do. So I'm pretty much occupying double the space, not to mention all the doubles and everything that we do have. But anyway, a quick, easy thing. Again, under $100. I showed you exactly how to do it. So maybe you're just caught, hey, how to build shelves and what's an easy way? It's a nice tutorial on how to do it. It's kind of like a dual video that I did. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here, but please stick around. If you like Classified, you like something like this, you like the G.I. Joe stuff, hey, take a second and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a storage video. Nah. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, but don't go anywhere. Up here will be something for the Classified. I don't know, whatever figure I recently did. And down here will be the playlist of all the Classified figures. And as you can see, there's well over 100 videos that I put out. Take care.